A little while ago, I made a video that I haven't uploaded yet, where I basically do a tier list for movie levels, like casually, and then I did one for no pause storage and hundo. But then I was thinking, like, what if you, like, average the segments out to figure out which segment is the overall best? You know, like, this is something that's generally hard to do in a lot of speed games, but because of the way that this game is structured, and how you generally want to get most of the same tokens, which then means that you're going, like, you're taking the same path to then get to those tokens, obviously there's, like, some little differences, but it's pretty easy to jump from one category to the next as long as it's not, like, a cheat category or an extras category, and even then, there are still cases where, it is almost the exact same. So I was thinking, like, well, again, like, which one's the best? And I already have 3 in mind that will be the top contenders, I'm sure. But I still thought, to make this longer than 2 seconds, I would just make it a tier list. Of course, there are splits that just don't change no matter what you do, and there's still, completely fine splits. So what we're looking at is, like, difficulty, variety, like, if it's cool. We will be factoring toxicity a little bit. And I will be factoring, like, cheat categories, but they won't, extensions categories, but they won't be factored, like, as much. They're less important leaderboards, and they're less important categories, so it will affect the overall average of these levels a bit, but they won't have as much weighting. If anything, the weighting, you could just see it as, like, ordered, here to here. I'm not covering every single category, not any percent, because most levels are not seen, and let's take a look here. Yeah, Frogfish, all the segments are the exact same, except 3K and Frogfish, and cheat percent, pretty obvious there. So immediately, like, we can basically rule out, like, the bosses. The only one that even has a chance is Neptune. Like, we're looking for, like, probably, like, the top 3, or maybe even 5. But I'm thinking, like, which one is the overall best. But even, like, a top 5 could be pretty interesting, even though I know for a fact what's going to be in the top 3, like, no doubt. But yeah, so, I don't know what really deserves to be in D, if we're factoring, like, everything. These have, like, the least variety, but there's still, like, nothing particularly. The only time the Frogfish is different is in Frogfish RTA, where it's arguably worse. Oh, and Early Powers, where it's also also arguably, like, worse. I guess Frogfish, it has, like, a tiny bit more variety, but, like, the variety isn't good. And it can just, like, throw you off. Just anything being different can throw you off if you're not used to it, to be fair. Dennis 2, it's sometimes different. Like, there are, like, 2 categories where you want to use unupgraded ball. And unupgraded ball is, like, the single worst fucking thing ever. Like, where is it? You gotta see this shit, bro. It is, like, the fucking worst. Like, look at this, right? It looks the same at first. It basically is, but then... Yeah, that was a good attempt. And I got the 1 frame as well. Like, there's, like, some RNG with this, because of the slammers, and just, like, there's one point where he can move, like, sooner than normal, and it just fucks everything up. Like, so many runs died here. Genuinely, the toxicity level was through the fucking roof. But it's only for 2 categories, and they're extensions categories. So it's like, I don't know, and, like, at least it's, like, hard. Frogfish just is so boring. And even then, like, it has, like, that little bit of RNG at the end, but that is just, like, fucking annoying as well. So yeah, these 3, I guess, are probably at the bottom. Next up, Probably, I mean, Knucklehead's not that bad, but it's like... I mean, okay, like, obviously everybody knows what it's like in No Pause Storage. I mean, you do Mindy Skip. Mindy Skip is no longer random, so there's no longer the excitement of like, oh my god, is he gonna get Mindy Skip? Like, oh god, this is what happens when you use incognito. Go away, Brev. Okay, anyway, so that's just 50 seconds of basically fuck all, unfortunately. And in the time challenges, it's basically like 100% identical when you actually move on the track, and like, it is in itself more interesting than, yeah, I mean, it's more interesting than Weenie Time, but like, compared to Weenie's first task, which is the most important, like, when it comes to the signing and driving levels, like, the first task is like the most important, because there's always at least one category where, like, you only do the first, like, in Early Powers, you only do the first task for all these levels. Like, there are times, like, there are even, like, 2 or 3 instances where you don't see guess time, which means you don't see guess jumps, which is unfortunate. But, like, that's just how it is sometimes, right? So, while Weenie's first task is better than Knucklehead's first task, and Knucklehead's, like, second, third, and fourth tasks are undeniably better, Weenie is still, like, you know, the first task is still the most important, though that being said, I don't know, because, like, the extras are kind of interesting, and Ring isn't that toxic, and it's shorter. Yeah, I'd probably put Knucklehead in, like, yeah, probably around here, like, as soon as you get, like, decent at, like, 100% on all tokens, like, you're probably not failing Ring. There's a bit of RNG with Middle Door, but you can, you know, kind of joke around with the chat about, like, oh, how many Middle Doors am I gonna get? And, actually driving around the level itself, like, in a non-speedrun setting is, you know, interesting. It's a hell of a lot more interesting than fucking sandwich driving. It's just a sandwich driving has a trick. So... I feel like, God, I think that S sound was, like, really whistly. Hopefully it wasn't too whistly. Anyway, what's next? I mean, again, just the sliding and driving, other than, like, Gesk and Rubber Dub, doesn't really even have a chance. Yeah, Weenie's probably next, so it's just, like, which one's worse? Like, there are not that many, like, there are only 2 categories where you do more than one Weenie token, and more than one, Knucklehead token. But that being said, when you do Weenie, it's, like, way worse, and there is, the Out of Bounds, which is, like, insanely toxic, but you're not doing that anyway, to be fair. These can kind of just go anywhere. I'm gonna place Knucklehead higher, just because, like, it's more interesting, like, in extended categories, and its extras are more interesting as well for the 3 extras categories. So, I mean, at least that's fucking something. And Mindy Skip, like, if you didn't count your loads, then, like, at least there's still a bit of a mystery. I mean, even then, there isn't still, like, a big... Because, like, if you did, like, you know, if you get to Knucklehead on, like, the first run after a soft reset, or maybe, like, the second run, like, you probably already know if you're on, the right load count anyway. And even if you know you're not, then you could just, like, reload SCDA Sponge Bowl, and only lose, like, a few seconds. Yeah, next up is Rock Slide. Rock Slide is, Rock Slide has tricks, like, you know, it's got tricks, but, like, it's really fucking long. I mean, and, let's see, yeah, there's 4 tricks, yeah. So, I mean, at least there's more than 1 per, like, minute. And there's manly management, the extras are at least something, even if they remove difficulty, like, they add a little bit of variety. And even then, you very rarely see, like, any Rock Slide task after the first one. It doesn't really overstay its welcome, like, just from the first one, because, again, like, it actually has stuff going on. It's just, like, way worse than Knucklehead, and I mean, I don't know about Weenie, I don't know. It's definitely worse than Knucklehead, like, for the remaining tasks. I mean, you're still doing tricks. So, like, yeah, I'm probably gonna put it here. I'm probably just getting the sliding and driving out of the way. This shit, okay, sandwich out of bounds is fucking toxic. And in nearly every category, you do it at least twice. But, like, it adds a lot of difficulty to the run. I mean, and even then, there are 2 ways you can do, well, 3, but one of them is, you don't do it. So, you know, you got 2 ways you can do the trick. And it's a damn cool trick as well. It kind of carries it, and then, of course, in, Hundo... Oh, in NMG, you do it 3 fucking times, kill me. In Hundo, in all tokens, you do it 3 times. In Hundo, you do it 3 times. With Hundo, though, you even have, where is it? You even have this, which I did get very consistent at. This used to be abysmal, but then I got it consistent. It saves a shit ton of time, because that's what allows you to do the 3rd sandwich out of bounds in the first place. So it's quite a hard split overall, even though I hate doing it early, and yeah. Park out of bounds is cool, if only it were, like, even fucking literally doable on the console, let alone RTA viable. So it's basically, like, less interesting Knucklehead, except you actually, like, do stuff, so automatically it's like, you know. And in all extras, you only do it once. In early powers, you only do it once. I want to say once, I mean, you know, out of bounds. EPAE, to be fair, that's where sandwich driving is at its worst, arguably. But even then, like, sandwich driving 1 or 2, like, it's the shortest sliding and driving backtracking split, except for Gesk and Rubber Dub. So, of the 7, like, it being, like, 3rd place, like... Yeah. Like, in terms of speed, not too bad. So, yeah, put in B. Then, let's see. Well, Sunday. The thing is with Sunday, right, is that, like... I'll put Dennis in B. It's the exact same in literally every single category, but, like... Sometimes consistency is, nice. Would put it higher, but, like, at the end of the day, like, it's not particularly hard. It's not, like... You know, there is no variety. When something goes horribly wrong, it feels bullshit. Missing the 1 frame sometimes feels bullshit. But, you know, it's a good split. But obviously docking points for all that, and, you know, just not having much variety. We are factoring a bit of variety in this. But again, consistency is sometimes valued, because, like, when you're learning a category, it's like, oh, I gotta learn, like, all these splits, but it's like, oh, well, Dennis 2, I mean, well, yeah, maybe Dennis 2 as well, but, like, oh, Dennis is the same, so I can just, like, skip that. That's, you know, just makes the learning process a bit faster, which is especially nice for, like, extras categories and stuff. Why did I get a Discord notification? Oh, it's just a thing, right? Anyway... Okay, Rubber Dub is, like, actually hard to rank, because, like... In just, like, no pause storage, I think I put it in A. It's really good, because Rubber Dub Skip has issues, and it's, like, the segment is worse when you factor every category, but, like... It's very hard, and it's what separates the boys from the men. It made the early game a lot better. Like, it's just cool to have a time save that, like, other than mini skip and pause storage, like, this is the biggest time save that has been discovered since this game started getting fucking speedrun. I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, well, yeah, pretty much. Because, like, you know those, like, that really fast plank out of bounds thing where you get, like, the bounce token? Like, that saves more. But, like, that's been known since before the game was being speedrun. Like, I saw videos about that back in, like, 2009 or something. And this game started being ran in, like, 2013, I think. Maybe 2012, but I think it was 2013. So, like, but even if we want to count that, then yeah, this is, like, the biggest time save since, like, 2009. Other than, like, the really big shit. Saves even more than token frames. Saves more than, like, bash boosting, you know. It's crazy. The problem, though, is when you do this in... I mean, all extras, it does get a bit worse because, you have to just basically do almost fuck all for, like, a minute and a half. The one-frame jumps, for the time challenge are fucking toxic. What else? Oh, yeah, so the problem is that in all tokens and Hundo, it's not as bad in Hundo, but in all tokens, well, in both, your time challenge is spent basically doing the level casually, except, you do bridge jump, which is easy, and another jump that's also very easy. I mean, there's a one-frame turnaround, but, like, you don't need it at all. And it, like, undeniably makes a worse overall split. And then you got Ring, which is just casual. Obviously, you can cut the corners more and stuff like that, save a few seconds. But, like, obviously, you know, it's, like, essentially casual. So, Rubber Dub gets a lot worse, and even in all extras, it gets slightly worse. But, like, in a lot of categories, it is good. But then we have another problem. It fucking obliterated no major glitches. It fucked it up so bad, bro. Like, I have never seen... Like, this is one of the biggest assassinations in a category I've ever seen. It was already getting a little dicey, but, like, you know, you get, like, Weenie Stack or whatever, and you're fine every time. But, like, Rubber Dub Skip, it's skipping, like, 300 manlies or something. Oh, well, yeah, 300 manlies. Why is that a problem? Now That We're Men, right? Now That We're Men got fucked up specifically because of Rubber Dub Skip. And you'll see this as like, oh, you have more than enough of ball. That is because we had to move BBBH back into the fucking early game, like, doing it exactly like how it is in No Pause Storage, and effectively Hundo and all extras as well. Like, the same structure. Because you get an insane amount of manlies. Like, I'm talking fucking insane. I mean, put it this way, right? So far, the run is exactly the same as it would go in No Major Glitches. You might do SD102 early to get it out of the way, which would give you, like, a little more manlies, but other than that, like, if you're not doing that, then they are 1-to-1 right now, right? Look how many manlies I had. 964. 964. Like... And yeah, you get a little bit from Weenie, and then you'll do Rubber Dub 2 and SD102. Like, I don't even know if this is on pace... like, to get enough for Frogfish, to get Slamming Frogfish. There was one run, and yeah, I probably, like, missed some enemies, or got bad RNG with, like, their placements, got bad combos, or maybe I just missed an easy stack. I know for a fact I didn't miss any, like, big things. It must have been a bunch of little things. I had a run where I was, like, 1 or 2 manly short for Slamming Frogfish. Which obviously means the instant end of the fucking run. That's insane. That is actually insane. And yeah, that only happened once, but Now That We're Men is like the real bout. Again, 964, and at the end of the split, 2,372. Like, you get like 1,400 manlies. 1,400 is so many that from the beginning of the run to upgrading Slam, you need 1,500. That is almost upgraded Slam's, like, entire upgrade point in itself, just for continuing the level. So that removed BBBH backwards, and I'm sure you all know what BBBH backwards is. I forgot to get an older run to show you. But of course, you know, you do guitar, you do some BBBH backwards stuff, seeing a part of the level you don't normally see. You get into the lava room area as SpongeBob, which is normally not possible, so you completely cheese the Throwing Fruit challenge. Then you do Electric Bash, which is just like a cycle-based bash boost. Then you, like, guitar a thing, walk back a bit, like, grab the disco token from behind and 2-frame the token. Then do a fast corkscrew really late in the run, which is, very scary. And that's a split, and it's fucking cool as fuck. Now the only categories that have it are fucking all tokens and all world tokens. And nobody plays all world tokens and nobody plays all tokens. So, yeah. Fucking obliterated. Like, this was, like, BBBH backwards was, like, the big fucking thing. for this category. It's every console can play it, and that's huge. But like the second thing was BBBH backwards. It saves like 40-something seconds, and yet it's still a little faster to not do it at the world record level, or even like a very high level. You might be like, oh, well, come on, the manlies can't be that bad. Dude, not having enough in Now the Men is fucking awful. Like, genuinely abysmal. And you can lose, like, more time in Rockslide to get more manlies or whatever. Again, look at this. Again, so pretty much 3,900. And again, I got 1,400 from BBBH. I would be, like, 500 or 400 under what I need. Like... Weenie Stack and Rockslide stuff can't compensate for all that. I would still be low right now, which means that it's harder to hit the paddle wheel. You know, like, I could touch that TNT, but then I'm losing, like, half a second for fucking TNT. Like... You know, and then this is the big reason why it's so bad, right? I would only be able to hit, like, 1 or 2 of these, and then there would not be upgraded ball traveling down here, so I either need to intentionally get hit by the TNT, which means I can't do Spewer Boost, or I just have to ignore the TNT, and I still don't have enough, and this is before I used to hit the turrets, but even now, I would still not have enough. I would if I hit the Weenie Stack, but that loses, like, 2 seconds. Like... And I've already lost more manlies because I did, like, even if I upgrade ball now, I still lost manlies. Which then means that you might not have enough of guitar, which means that you might need to get even more stacks. There were runs before Rub-a-Dub Skip, because, you know, this is when I just didn't want to get extra shit. Like, there were times before where I would sometimes have to upgrade here, or sometimes where I wouldn't upgrade, like, at all. Actually, I don't think that was, no, that was, like, post-Rub-a-Dub Skip. There were times we wouldn't upgrade whatsoever in Now the Men, which you could get away with, but that would lose a lot of time, and you would lose manlies because, again, you're not hitting shit, and then, like, you had to get more in SCDA. You had to grind in SCDA. Like, it was so bad. The whole... Also, it fucked ETU a bit, because this is Cancer out with unupgraded ball. It was already fast, but, like, with Rub-a-Dub Skip, it's even faster, because then you're even more obligated to do it, because it just loses more time, because now you have to grind if you... Like, it wasn't just, like, oh, you're doing a slow route, you're losing, like, 15 seconds or whatever. Now it's, like, well, you need to do more grinding, and you need to, like, do some of the slow shit, so... Now it loses more like 25 to 30 seconds, there's more of an obligation to do it. Yeah, so Rub-a-Dub Skip fucked No Major Glitches up, and ETU to a lesser extent. And in Hundo, and all tokens, and even all extras, it's a little worse. But it's still, like, a very solid category. At the end of the day, like... All of the Rub-a-Dub tokens combined, even with the extras, like, if you added them all up, it's like 8.5 minutes. It's really not that bad. So... considering the majority of the time you're either doing 1 or 2 Rub-a-Dubs, which is, like, perfect, essentially, like, I might still put in A. That was a very long rant, considering this was meant to just be quick so that I could just get to, like, the top 3 or 5. But yeah, then we got, like, Gask, which I'll put in A, like, the absolute, like, the literal worst case scenario is in, like, all extras and early powers all extras, because you only do the first task, and then you do that stupid shit where you just kill yourself to grab the extra and it loses, like, 25 seconds or something. But, like... In Hundo, then that extra is actually skillful because of Mag, which then forces you to do guest jumps late, which is skillful. The segment is just very quick. Time and Macho are completely different from the first task, which is appreciated. Like... Unfortunately, the first task is easy, but... Like... The guest jumps just make up for so much stuff. Honestly, yeah, no, it should, like, Fake Ring is an issue, but it really should go here. Like, worst case scenario, again, when everything's added up, it's like 8 minutes, which is still faster than Rub-a-Dub, which is kind of sad. But, like, the first task is completely unique. The second task is hard. The third one is at least fast, and there's a bit of a, like, oh, will you get fake ring? At least that's, like, something. And then the fourth one, even though it's repetition, it's fast repetition, and it's hard, so I don't mind it, is going in A. I don't know if it necessarily gets better. I would say it doesn't get better from the extra tokens, but it's hardly getting any worse. What you realize is that hundo and all tokens make most segments worse. So, not literally all of them, but like, yeah. The vast majority of them get worse or the same. Or, like, effectively the same. So I guess I'll just, before we get to the platforming levels, I guess I'll just go... Neptune is the same in, like, every category. Again, I'm not really factoring, like, cheat percent. Where it's more toxic there, because obviously more optimal. Neptune, again, it's like pseudo-auto-scroller, but it's hard, it's got a bunch of stuff going on. Like, it separates the boys from the men. Like, you really gotta get, like, you really don't want to get hit in Neptune more than, like, once when you're, like, at the intermediate level. Which is very hard to do, you know, very easily chokeable spot. Like, it'd be nice if Neptune were, like, I don't know, like, 30 seconds faster or whatever, but generally, like, it's very, consistent. The only thing, really, is if you have, upgraded spin. Not only does it make hitting the tables easier, but you could deflect spitter shots, and it makes getting to crabs easier, which means that you might be able to do Neptune a little faster, if not even just straight up do the spin strat, which saves even more time. Neptune is just really consistently good, I'll put it like here. It's just like, there are times where, you know, the fact that it gets easier every phase is cringe, and if it were a little faster in some categories, that'd be cool, but it's like almost the exact same length in every single category. The only difference really is whether or not you upgraded fucking guitar in this level. Alright, now we get to the interesting stuff. Let's see, what's gonna go at the bottom here? All of these levels are very solid in the runs, but I'm thinking, like, the lowest one is probably either gonna be, like, BBBH, Depression, or Plank. Could be No Cheese, but I don't think so. Actually, no, it will be No Cheese, but I'll still place it quite high. No Cheese, you gotta give it respect, it's very consistent, right? Like, so many speed games have an issue with the first split is either, like, really boring and long and you do nothing, or it's, like, super toxic, right? That's most speed games. But, like, No Cheese somehow manages to avoid being boring and really long while also still being, like, interesting and not reset heavy. Like, it's crazy. Depression is more like the first split of the run. You don't even reset here that often, but it still has, it's quick and it has tricks. Like, the load is fast, skipping the cutscene is fast. This is the most toxic fucking thing ever, but, like, looking back at it, or it shouldn't have even been doing it. It will be affected in its overall rating a little bit, but... You know, like, you got a trick here, you know, just something. And then you got a trick here. It's cool. And then, you got another trick, although this is cancerous as fuck if you're playing in cheat categories, or if you're doing, not doing buffers, but yeah, like, it has 4 tricks, like, in the span of a minute. And to be fair, one of them is always cancerous, while one of them is cancerous depending on the situation, but, like, you gotta respect it, right? And even then, it has variety, like, it has, you know, it has the extra, which, yeah, here we go. And this shit is, like, actually kinda hard, so, you know, this I would effectively call a trick, so I got, like, 5 tricks. I did it a little slow. But then... this shit is so cancerous, but, like, it's cool. Just, yeah, cheats. Who doesn't love some cheating? Although then you do some walking, and you do a down clip. You get close enough, but not too close, and then you inch up to the token and you have to get a 1 frame. Well, you can get a 2 frame. Actually, no, you can't. Not in this. You can in, like, all world tokens, but you never really want to risk it. Unbelievably cancerous, like, genuinely is unbelievable, like, how toxic that token frame is. but... What was I doing? I almost clicked on Clicker Heroes. I've been playing Clicker Heroes since yesterday. Yeah, so No Cheese is definitely, like, the worst of these, but, like, it's pretty fucking solid. Like, it's just that it has a lot of toxic elements. Oh, there is also a lag clip that you can do for, 100% ILs, which I'm not really factoring those either. Or, Chundo, which isn't a category. Or Early Powers All Extras. There is a lag clip you can do, but it fucking sucks, so I don't do it. It saves, like, a few seconds. No one's doing this shit. But yeah, because of its toxicity, I'm putting in B, but it's very, very solid overall, like, genuinely. If we're not factoring toxicity, then it shoots up, like, a lot. Like, fucking, like, here or here. But yeah, the toxicity is too much. Very strong, though, especially if we're not factoring cheat categories. If we're not factoring cheat categories or, fucking, truck skip, then, you know, much higher. So what's the next worst? So, again, it's either Depression, BBBH, or Plank. I think it's gotta be Depression. Yeah, nah, looking at it now, yeah, it's gotta be Depression, bro. Depression hasn't really changed at all since, effectively, like, 2013, 14? Like, whenever they stopped doing fucking, Depression combat early, that's a pretty much, like... At least in most categories when it saw, like, any change. Technically, there was one other thing, but it's not even, like, a strat or anything, it's just, like, a realization. Missing this is embarrassing, but it happens more often than I would like to admit. That jump is annoying, this is annoying, this is annoying. Grabbing the warp optimally is annoying. You're probably understanding, like... You probably relate if you run this game, or have ran this game, which you probably have. That 2-frame is so bad, bro. Like, the camera angle is so fucking bad. In Hundo, I just started buffering it because I could afford to, because it's Hundo. But, like, if I came back to no pause storage and I wasn't, like, gasping for fucking any amount of time save, I probably would just buffer it, honestly. It would be, like, I would hate to, but, like, you know. But yeah, it's just, like, the fucking, you know. I hate the lack of variety. And even then, like, what you're doing is still, like, really reset heavy, still toxic as hell. And keep in mind, if you're not an OG, you can't buffer it anyway. And that is usually not an issue, but, like, it can be. Like, it's just so toxic to, like, not be able to get past Creek for, like, 5 centuries, and when you do, like, you miss bounce because, like, you choke. That cone jump, hiccups, that cone jump is AIDS, that final jump is AIDS. So that's, in, like, the vast majority of categories. Including, like, no major glitches and all tokens and everything. In extras categories, you know, it's a little different, brev. Wait, what am I doing? Here, I mean, this is, like, something. Not that hard, but it's a little difficult to get a good angle with the swinger afterwards. And then in Hundo, like, there's some variety. Where the fuck is Depression? Here we go. So combat, I mean, there's a lot of RNG to it, but obviously there's also a good bit of skill to it, but then we figured out how to remove some of the RNG, which effectively removes some of the skill, because of upgraded guitar, blah blah blah. This is in no major glitches as well, but I would argue that's not, like, I mean, you know, it's, like, fine. Guitar is just, like, whatever. It doesn't last long enough to be, like, annoying. This is cool, though. This is in a few categories. Any category that has extras, like, you do this. I like it. This is hard to do optimal. Like, a lot of the time you'll miss a box. I had to, like, grind it out quite a bit to not miss the box. And then, in 2 of the 3 extras categories, set up ball storage here. We used to set up mag here, but we don't do that anymore. And, you know, again, combat, like, yeah. So, you know, it's a little interesting. In all tokens, it saves time to do GGC. However, it fucking ruins the run because It saves like it makes it save like 5 seconds, but yeah, if you do like all 4 sandwich driving tokens back to back before you even enter fucking 3k, then it saves like 5 seconds, or 4 or something. It's so poggers. It's a little different in, I mean, in early powers, you practically don't even fucking do it. ETU, like, I mean, you 2-frame the end level token, and Creek is easier, but like, you know. AWT, you have to do the guitar challenge before the Creek challenge, which is annoying, but like, oh yeah, I can show you the live clip, actually. Ignore the webcam, please and thank you. This clip is also fast in, restricted token order, but like, that's not a category. But yeah, that's like cool. I like that. I think you do an APL as well. Yeah, you do. So not that much variety, just kind of like annoying. But then again, sometimes being the same old is like not a bad thing. I don't know. Like, you go into it knowing what to expect, which is to be annoying as hell, but like, yeah, I'm probably gonna put it like here. Let's see. Also, I'll just say now that when I made the no pause storage and hundo, like, tier lists, I made those on the fly. Like, I looked back at it, and there are some things I definitely do not agree with. But, yeah. Alright, so now it's just, like, Plank or BBBH. BBBH is probably too straightforward. Yeah, I'm gonna put BBBH, like, here. Like, I like BBBH. It's good, but, like, there are a lot of moments with it where it feels like you're playing casually. It feels restricted to the extent where it's like, damn, am I playing a ring challenge kind of thing? These slide jumps, like, yeah, everybody knows them, they're cool. Kind of annoying that they're mandatory for BBBH backwards, but, I mean, this is something, I don't know. There is a faster fight here now, that's a bit harder, but yeah, but then, again, it's just like yeah, again, getting manly is, like, lag reduction, like, some stuff, but... Disco skip is a little cool. Movie's kind of interesting, like, it's kind of weird, like, it's structured more like, you just kind of, like, walk for a while, do a trick, walk for a while, do a trick, and the tricks, like, this isn't the case as much anymore, but especially back in, like, 2016, if you were doing a trick, it was probably a pretty big trick, and if you missed it, you lose a lot of time. So it was, like, it was kind of weird. There's less of that now, but there's still, like, a lot of instances where you're waiting for the next trick. Which, I mean, that's technically the case in every speed game, but sometimes in this game, like, you wait for long periods of time. If, you know, you got fast corkscrew here. I'm not factoring anybody else's skill level in this, by the way, I'm just factoring my own. So, I mean, yeah, BBBH, like, it's, like, fine and no pause storage, it's, like, you know, like, B tier. It gets better in all extras, for sure, except for the fact that if you miss disco skip, the run's immediately fucking over. That is actually AIDS. It used to, like, roughly break even to do BBBH forwards late game in hundo, which was ideal, because then you could just, like, do disco, like, you could cheese disco, but, like, yeah. It's, like, you can't afford to do that anymore because of mag. But yeah, this is, like, mostly the same, except, obviously, disco skip is effectively even harder now. And you got the pit stuff. And then, obviously, like, later on, we would have BBBH backwards, but we don't here. Throwing through is, you know, people don't like throwing through. I feel like a lot of it is just, like, people... Genuinely, you can learn the cycle. As long as you're not, like, an absolute beginner, I would expect somebody to be able to learn a decent cycle in, like, fucking half an hour or less. People just, like, they don't want to learn, bro. I'll just show this because it's pretty much the same as in no pause storage. Like, I think the cycle is a little tighter, but, like, it's fine. It just it goes through another rotation, so yeah. And then you needed to swing low enough on the swinger in BBBH1 to get the combat warp. Which isn't hard, but, you know, easy thing to choke. Lose a bit of time. BBBH combat isn't as cringe as it used to be. It does do the same thing as Depression and Now That We're Men combat, where you stand still for a bit, but I feel like this one, like, you know, reduces the difficulty the least. And just improves the split. It's still got a bit of RNG, but I do like the health management with the spitters. If you kill them all, then they will just they'll spawn, like, pretty much continuously, like, you know, you got, like, a batch of spitters, but if you kill them all, then if you kill one, then one will respawn. You know, that's just how it goes after the first batch, so you want to, like, leave one. So BBBH combat, while it can be annoying, and sometimes it's harder to play close to the cold than it can be in Now That We're Men sometimes, and there will still be the rare instance where I die. Like, it's not... I don't know, it's not, like... I like this segment, even, like, obviously you're not really going to be into it, most people aren't going to be into it, and in all platforming levels, it's straight up toxic, because there's a pretty high chance you'll lose ice physics glitch. But yeah, I don't know, like, it's just solid overall, like, pretty much no matter what the category is. I could probably show... It's a little... BBBH backwards is a little different, but... Because you jump all the way up the slide, which actually fucking sucks, but... Then you do some backward shenanigans. Oh yeah, you don't... I don't think you upgrade cartwheel in... Well, for the optimal route. So there's like a bunch of routes you can do, but this is like the objectively most optimal, if I recall correctly. This shit was like... Like, I hated doing this in early games so much. Like, I used to do it later, but it saves like a second to do it earlier, which, you know, time save in a 30-minute category. Guitar isn't anything interesting, but it's cool to see the level from a different perspective. The challenge is like 2 minutes, so it's a little under that. Would rather not do it, but it's not like a big deal. And then you choose the challenges. Kind of cool. And then you have Electric Bash. Which, like, it's gone to the point where I would, like, guitar the buttons too fast, so I have to, like, purposely delay myself. I do like this. You can also do Patrick backwards, but it's slower and has some RNG. But it does make that token buffer, like, easier. And faster, because you can cartwheel buffer it. But yeah, it's, like, that's neat. But yeah, there's no category where BBBH is bad. Like, the absolute worst instance of it is probably, like... It might be no major glitches just from, like... just from the perspective of, like, you know... You should be able to do BBBH backwards, but you can't. I don't think I fully finished my thought earlier, by the way. Like, it saves, like, 40-something seconds, but, like, the manlies are so bad. And then you can, like, move them to earlier in the run so that you can do plank lag clips, and plank lag clips, like, there might be theoretical instances where BBBH backwards is still faster, but, like, you need, like, really good combos, like, really good everything. And then you still need to do, like, fast corkscrew later and everything, and that's just, like, not worth it. I mean... I mean... I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's too casual. I don't know. Alright, now we got the top 4. Next one up has gotta be, like, Plank. Plank is good, but, like, it does have some problems. Some parts are, like, arguably too easy or whatever. I do like this, quick menu cancel. It's the only time you do it on main. I mean, it's the only level you do it in. Like, there isn't, like, a cheat category. And then you do, like, the bash strat. Like, this can be hard because the move will almost always shoot the targets. And this can be a little tricky. And then, like, the out of bounds is, like, free, obviously, but then getting back in is a little tough. But then, again, like, it's just, like, little things. Like, there's instances where you just do, like, just some walking for a bit. Dude, I don't know what the fuck is going on, by the way, but, like, for, like, a while, I haven't been able to do this. Just walk off. Like, I'm having the issue that people get on, like, PS2 and GameCube, where you, like, you have to, like, move really far to the left or right, and it's only been happening since I stopped playing the game, and I don't understand why. I like this little token buffer, it has more going on than normal. You, like, stand on the edge, you tap B, and then you're, like, a good distance away. You're, like, pretty close, so it's, like, a tiny bit harder, but like, yeah. Playing combat obviously doesn't have much going on, and then again, like, this is just, like, really easy. Like, this is, like, the big issue, like, or that was, rather. And, you know, reloading plank is a little slow. I like Area 2 Enter, though. We don't do that anymore. You can do a bash strat, it's easier and breaks even. And you do wall jumps for, like, 10 seconds, but then you do this, and it's cool. This is easy to choke, like, it's not a particularly hard trick, but it's easy to choke. And if you have too much height, you lose, like, 2 or 3 seconds, so you actually toe on perfect height, even though I did have perfect height. That R+A jump is cool. And then I like Monumental Bash. Yeah, it's neat. In No Major Glitches and Hundo and All Tokens, though, it is a bit different. Because you get to do lag clips. Holy, lag clips in my main category? Let's go. Bro, what the fuck are you doing? Come on, bro. Okay, there we go. So, like, yeah, that is cool. I like that. And then, like, you manip the popper, and the side benefit of this is that it makes Plank Bungee easier because the move didn't even spawn. And then you do a cool lag clip here. This shit is actually hard to do optimally. Like, ideally you fall on top of it, which saves like a second or two. Shit's actually hard. And then this is the same. And in this you do Plank Sponge Bowl, so Area 2 is different. Oh wait, I fucked it up. So instead you do this. The move has a bit of RNG, so he can fuck your ass, but usually he doesn't fuck your ass. And Plank Sponge Bowl. Plank Sponge Bowl is fucking weird, dude. This, like, little hop, jump, whatever you want to call it, dude, it feels like luck. Like, it'll just work for ages, and then it'll just magically not work, and it's like, oh, I might have been too far left or whatever, but, like, and then I go really far right, and it doesn't fucking work, like, I'm sure it's not luck, but there's, like, I think what's happening is that, like, if you aim for the right side, but you aim at it at, like, an extremely specific point, it probably just doesn't work, because of how the collision is, like, it's probably just something like that, I'm probably just, like, consistently hitting the incorrect spot, like, to the right side. But yeah, Plank Sponge Bowl is hard. Some people don't like it, but, like, I like it when it's not fucking my ass, like, at the beginning. You can two-frame this in a couple categories, but, like, no. And the cool thing about this is that there is a different lag clip you can do here. You have to do GG, well, you don't have to, but it saves time to do casual puzzle room there, unfortunately. But then you do another clip, and then the rest is the same. It's pretty cool. And it changes again in Hundo. And all extras. Because then you bowl this and bowl this. Like, it is a little hard. And then if you're fast enough, you can, like, walk up to it, so you grab it. It's cool. And then this changes again. Dude, holy fucking Jesus. How many goddamn ads? My channel's not even monetized, by the way. Like, those are just, like... Those are just ads for the fun of it, bro. But anyway, you don't have to, like, do the casual Plankton's puzzle thing here. Dude, there's, like, this hard jump that you normally have to do here. Like, if you get, like, an awkward amount of... It's really finicky. You need, like, an exact angle. And, like, this can be tricky, especially depending on how you did the wall jumps. And then you have... this, which, like, is cool, but then I hate waiting for this, it sucks, and then, like, obviously this is just really casual. This is cool, though. We do buffer it, but, like, it's kind of hard. Like, I use the D-pad. This is the only time in the run I use the D-pad. You definitely should use the D-pad for this. But, holy fuck, I choked. You can, like, buffer the input if you go in the menu. And then you get to the track, like, it's cool. I like it. Then, it changes again in all extras, because instead of doing guess time, because there's an extra in playing Spongeball, like, you do this without even having enough tokens for guitar. So you have to, like, die and then, like, ball the thing, which allows you to two-frame this token, which I promise you is not a fucking good thing. Okay, you're not two-framing it this late in the run unless it's dead, you're one-framing it, right? But, like, bruh. On top of it, like, fuck that, bro. Also, you can do this in Hundo and all tokens, but ideally you don't upgrade health in those categories, which then makes it, like, hardly save anything. Even if you don't fuck anything up, but then there's a good chance of, like, the Miv hitting you or whatever, and then you die, or, like, yeah, you shouldn't do it. Unless you're upgrading health, and if you're upgrading health and you're not playing optimally anyways, then it's just like, bruh. Like, I think the Plank Spongeball token frame saves a tiny bit more than not upgrading full health, and, like, you don't need that extra health, like, if you're good at the combats. But yeah, and then you do a unique lag clip, again. I like this one. It only saves like 6 seconds, but it's cool as fuck. You need to hold pretty, like, upright here. Or else you get hit by the spikes. They have a pretty nasty hitbox, and then you do some little traversing out of bounds is cool. You don't need to actually do that. There was a risk of dying in the lava. I don't remember who found this, but, like, they were doing it like this. And we realized, like, recently, like, oh, you could literally just do the R+A clip here, and then just walk into the cut. There's no reason why you can't do that. Like, we're just making it harder on ourselves. And a tiny bit slower for no reason. But yeah, then the rest of this is the same as Hundo, then. It's not really any different in early powers, except you get the plank stack. Well, I mean, technically it's a little different. Because, you only do... Oh, yeah, no, it is different, it is. I was, being stupid, bruv. So, like, this is the same, right? But then you set ball storage here. This is the only token in early powers that you get that isn't mandatory, so you don't... So there's 18 tokens that you have to collect in early powers, because you just collect the end-level tokens. But we actually get 19, because it's just faster to grab that warp, so that you get warped all the way over here. And then it's different again, because then you do this. Plank has, like, probably the most variety out of any of these splits. Like, it probably has the most. And once again, like, you do this oh, wait, no. Wait, what? Oh, wait, no, you do... Yeah, that's early powers all extras where you do the other thing. And that's pretty much all the, You don't even, like, you don't even do this area, other than Spongeball and ETU. Yeah, it's pretty much the same in AWT. AWT does have, like, a specific lag clip thing, but I never understood it. And it saves, like, hardly anything, so, yeah. But yeah, Plank has, like, the most variety. I just don't, like, there's multiple instances of, like, walking around, or just, like, kind of waiting for something to happen, and, you know, that sucks, but, like, it's still really solid. Like, I put in, like, A. Like, it's good in, like, every category. Again, I'm trying to think of, like, what categories are the best in, what categories is the worst in. And it's probably the best in, like, either no pause storage or no major glitches. Actually, no. All tokens is probably where it's at the best. Because then you're always doing the live clip, as opposed to, like, if you're at the top level. I mean, then it would depend on if you're willing to do the clips, but you know what I mean. That's probably where it's at its best. And at its worst is probably... It's probably either APL or ETU. Even though it's, like, still not bad. But then you just kind of, like, warp to the objectives and just kind of, like, do them real quick. Alright, so here are the top 3. I already knew that these were going to be in the top 3. Yeah. Okay. Some of these could probably change, but fucking whatever, bro. So, we have 3K, Now That We're Men, and SCDA, and I think I know what order this is going in. I'm gonna put SCDA, like, probably, like, here. Yeah, probably, no, it's probably gonna go here. SCDA is really solid. It would be an S. Hell, I'd have it as my number 1, probably. But the reason why I don't is because of guitar. It's 2.5 minutes, as long as fuck, like, come on. Plus it has, like, a couple elements to it that are just a little toxic, bruv. The SCDA is fucking solid, like... Dude, if you're gonna show me ads, could you at least not show me the same, like, 2 ads? Like, god damn. I did reject all, so it doesn't know what to advertise to me, but still, like, fucking bruh. So let's see how it is in no pause storage. You know, it is... This is another reason why it's not an S, is because the beginning is just, like, simple. Toilet skip is something, but you're not really doing too much at the beginning. But this is when it gets interesting. You have to, like, do that in time, and then you grab the circ warp in midair, which is fucking cool. And then you go out of bounds, go back in bounds. But, oh, we need the SpongeBob warp, so we go backwards. We do Patrick 1 Melon, grab the warp and drown. And then you do a little ledge grab skip. Fucking cool. And then we do fucking... Oh my god, dude, my SCDA sucked. Then we do fucking 3 meter brev. You could also do Invisicrate, but I'm just gonna pretend that doesn't exist. I mean, it adds variety, technically, if you want to do it, so I mean, that's good. You're supposed to 2-frame that, but I'm fucking bad. Yeah, kinda hard trick, you know, especially because, like, I want to get the 2 frames, so I'm on a consistent cycle. You gotta get a ledge grab skip here. We don't gotta, but, you know. Get that stack, because I needed no pause storage. Barely loses anything anyway. I think it loses, like, a second. Because, like, a slightly faster version of this was found. I don't know if... Even if it came back to the game, I'm not sure if I'd do it. Like, if you're really fast, you can, hit the button before the move gets there, but it's, again, it's, like, fucking hard. I will be counting, like, SCDA 2 as part of SCDA. Like, I've been doing that for the other segments, but just to make myself clear, almost an hour into the video. But yeah, like, this ending fight, like, is hard, and like, there's a lot of time to save or lose here, like, between, like, intermediate to top level. I mean, I lost a lot of time here, and I'm still gonna be doing it faster than a lot of intermediate level players. And then you got Floating Block, which, like, again, like, whether or not you did Ice Physics, like, well, you still have it. It changes the cycle. There is a fast cycle here that's, was made easier thanks to Sky. So that might be viable, so that's, like, something to think about, because then it makes this a bit more tricky. Obviously, normally you grab that extra in extras categories, and then, of course, there's Block Boost, where, like, if you come here at the right time, you can boost off of this, and then buffer it, and it is really bad, even with a buffer. The only reason it has any viability is because of the buffer. I would just only do it on dead runs. I never PB'd with it, I don't think. Or if I did, I don't think I did. If I did, it was, like, one time. Probably by, like, a second, but, like, yeah, I don't think I did. It's really, 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 really bad because you can't see properly, and even then you could choke the buffer, you could choke the angle. You may, like, choke the token because you're approaching it at a different angle than normal, like, different position. Maneuvering from these spikes can be a little tricky. Yeah, it's just cool. And then we have, Le Cirque. And that was just, like, a quick little thing. SpongeBob waiting here does suck. But, like, afterwards, it's cool. And, of course, there is that, fast corkscrew for this level, but, like... I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I don't like to say stuff will never happen, but I don't think that'll ever be RTA viable, like, completely unironically. I really don't think it will. I think, yeah, SCDA SpongeBob is the last, like, unbuffered 2-frame in the run. I'm not counting the Dennis ones because they're 1-frames and different styles of token animation skips anyway. But yeah, that's, SCDA here. In Hundo. Oh, Hundo, my other than SCDA guitar, it has, like, the best SCDA. And again, that's, like, the thing that holds it back. Holy Jesus, bro. Kill me. Right now. Do it. Anyway. So yeah, then upgraded throw here. This is gonna be a little hard to do. Like, this is hard to do fast. I used to kill the spitter here, but it loses, like, 2 seconds. So instead, like, kind of move out of the way. Set it up quickly. And you hit this, and then you get to do the Cirque token right now. Isn't that fucking cool, bruv? I did just realize, you can grab the Cirque warp in mid-air, like, even from, like, out of bounds, but I don't think that's worth it, because... Yeah, I don't think it would be, because, like... because then you're wasting a load and have to, like, manually go up to the token. Then again, though, you do sit through the animation, which almost cancels out the load. I'm pretty sure it's not faster to grab the warp and do it. I'm pretty sure it's... Yeah, there's no fucking way. There's no way. Even if it were, it'd be like half a second, and then it wouldn't be worth it. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Yeah. And then you skip the... Oh, yeah, this is a cool thing. Exclusive to this category. Shit is sick, dude. It used to not be viable, but then we made it viable. Saves like 5 seconds or something. And I was struggling with it at first. But, like, I really was getting the hang of it. I get it very consistent now. Don't want to hold A for too little or too late, and you want, like, a good angle on the trampoline. But then you do this. Again, it's easy to choke. Like, dude, it's just so fucking cool. I love that. And then it's not really, like, notably different afterwards, although grabbing the extra, the one that's after floating block does change, like, the cycle at the end a bit, to an extent that I don't really, like, remember properly. And then you do SCDA guitar, which is gonna pretend that doesn't fucking exist for now. Oh my god. Take a shot every time you see this ad, bro. And then, for this one, you do a cool little thing. It saves, like, a few seconds over the Patrick's shit, and it's objectively easier if you're on OG. Yeah, just cool little thing. So basically, SCDA is Poggers, except for guitar. Oh wait, yeah, in early powers, it's, like, obviously the same, except you're not doing, like, some of the I mean, so I guess it's, like, a little worse. Yeah, it's just not really... I mean, in APL, it sucks because ice physics glitch, but... And in ET, you do need to grind a little bit. You have to grab the big stack, like, 3 times, and if you're doing the slow routes, like, 5 times, or 4 times if you're bad. That's a bit of a mean thing to say, but it's true. But yeah, like, unfortunately... Like, Geska's... I don't know, like... SCD, like, 2.5 minutes? I mean, Gesk is over 2.5 minutes even in its first task, but it still, like, is more visually distinct and has more going on, and it's not, like, fucking unfair for beginners to learn, and again, the beginning is a bit slow, and the ending can be a bit toxic. Floating block delay is just toxic because of how inconsistent it can make the ending cycle. There is an easier strat, which I would recommend to intermediate players, where you can, like, grab the token from underneath, like, for floating block. But again, it still fucks a cycle afterwards, although getting used to it early might be worthwhile. Though it doesn't save that much, probably like 4 seconds or some shit, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I don't know, Gesk is just, like, always good, whereas, like, in Hundo, like, it's still solid for sure, but it's, like, I mean, you kinda, yeah, probably here. Alright, so we got Now That We're Men and 3K. And for Now That We're Men, it's just straight up going in S tier, dude. Like, because of combat, I would have put it, like, around here somewhere. But, like, it's fucking, like, combat's not nearly as much of a problem as it used to be, even though it still is, like, annoying. I think it deserves to be S. Its issue is that just like S, it's even worse than SCDA for the beginning, like, you don't do anything. But it just, like, from cutscene skip onwards, it really just makes up for it, man. Like, well, not even entirely true, because there's that extra at the beginning. It is a little annoying. You'll just get it for ages, and then it'll just stop fucking functioning until you do a different setup. It's so annoying. Oh wait, I'm showing it, yeah, the no pause storage version first. So, like, yeah, yeah, so from here, like, there's 2 ways you can do this trick, which is cool. And then, obviously, manly management. You should kill that turret, I did not, and then you do this, and then you do fucking eel ball, and it's like, holy... Eel ball is cool, and then you grab the warp, and then this is gonna be doing the older version of Spew Boost. I would do an easier one now, but yeah, this trick, it's still bad even with the ledge grab. But even like at least then I get it like half the time, dude. I was getting it like 25% of the time. I probably get more than half the time with the other one, probably like 2/3 of the time, but. And on a good day, maybe like 80% of the time, but yeah, this shit is so cancerous, but it's cool. I like this as well, and how there's like 3 ways to do it, with this way in particular, there being 2 ways of doing it. Well, technically 3 with like an old NMG route, but like, no. Then in Area 2, we got Bash Gang, which I fucked up. As... you know, the average Bash Gang attempt goes. And then you got Quick Chris, which is hard. And then you got Monster Skip, although in this case I'm doing Monster Buffer. There are a couple versions of this that are faster, but they're not really, like, particularly viable. The most viable one is the one that Sky found that saves, like, a second, but it's just... ugh. And then you got Floating Block Skip. And I like Floating Block Skip. So you got, like, Quick Chris, which is quite hard. Monster Skip, which is, like, easy to choke, even if it's, like, the easiest of the 3, maybe. And then you got Floating Block Skip, and then you got 2-frame afterwards, and then you do Bungee Ball, which is a tiny bit tricky. And then you 2-frame it, and yeah, you're done. And Now That We're Men is only in 1 segment. Do 5 tokens in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Like, that's fucking good. In NMG, it's basically the same, except you can 2-frame the monster token, so it's technically even better. Yeah, let's look at the Hundo one. So this is the strat I was talking about. Fucking, it was annoying. Oh yeah, I failed it, as a matter of fact. My Hundo run was really good, but this is a small blemish on it. If you, like, take, like, the boxes run a timer, like, if you take too long to break, like, to go from one box to the next in terms of destroying it, like, it's just like, nope, I don't believe you, did this extra, so you don't collect it, bruv. And then you have this. There is an out of bounds here, which I can't really factor into the thingy because you're not doing it, but it's so fucking cool. It's so cool. I might show it anyway. Then the rest of Area 1 is exactly the same. And the beginning of Area 2 as well, but like, this is different. And you might be thinking like, oh, this sucks then because, you know, you have to do the level. This is hard. Like, to do the fast cycle, it's actually unique and hard. So slamming these, so I always get my double jump, and like, you can't see properly, so it's like hard to remember. And then you want to be on the very edge here as to like not activate the checkpoint. And then, ideally, yeah, you like boost off of this. Or maybe not boost, but yeah, and then you avoid that checkpoint. This shit is, dude, it took me a while to get this down. And then, like, as it's rotating, you want to jump at the right time. And then you cartwheel off and buffer. Like, this is cool. I like this variety. This cycle saves, like, 9 seconds over the old one that we used to do. And then, you get a free bungee ball here, because then, immediately after, you get rid of the ball with this. Lost many a runs to this, but it's not too bad. It's just, like, easy to choke. And then, of course, we have combat, which, again, I feel like it does make Hundo better from its sheer difficulty. There is RNG to it, like, there are times where you will lose your run, it's not your fault, blah, 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 but, like, it's in, like, 2 categories, well, including cheats is, like, 3 categories. But yeah, there's a lot of, like, standing in the right place at the right time, like, guitaring the poppers, like, not too late or early. Standing where poppers would spawn so that the game never spawns them, so it doesn't, like, begin spawning them in batches or anything. And then you stand here and do basically the same thing, except it's quite hard. You want to, like, yeah, like, get rid of the moves rockets while killing foggers and then spinning. It's hard, though, because SpongeBob spin in this game is fucking stupid. But luckily there, I killed the popper. Ideally, you find an opportunity to deflect the move shots. Sometimes you don't get that opportunity because of how fast the foggers move and attack. They have the hardest fogger AI in the game, even harder than Plank. They're like a little more aggro. Unfortunately, yeah, I wasn't able to... Still, the kill wasn't that slow. And then there's just a cool little thing of mag. Oh, I do need to show it in all extras and in EP stuff because it's a bit different. So yeah. Let's see. In all extras, you do this, and it's pretty cool. It's a little slow, but, like, it's just cool. Have a look at this. You just go backwards, because going forwards is so fucking slow. You need to do this because, like, you're not doing now the main combat in this category. And then, like, this part, I don't remember if I got it. That is genuinely difficult. What'll happen, like, you don't want to approach it, like, from here, you want to approach it from, like, here, and even then, you need to, like, have purposely bad jump spacing. It's kind of fucked. But otherwise, you'll fall into the void, and you'll have, you can either do the 1-frame pause or not, and then you'll just manually respawn and lose 6 seconds over this. Or if you respawn, or if you get the 1-frame pause, then you save a second. It's not even worth trying to time it though, because of like the awkward amount of time it takes for the screen to go fully black, so you might as well just spam it. What else? Oh yeah, in EP, it's a little toxic, because if you're on a bad, like, cycle, the run's over. But, it's basically this. You need to, okay, so basically, let's say cycle is a bit of an exaggeration. The way the guitar gliding works is that, well, you're guiding yourself with spin, but you'll lose the state if you aren't spinning when you drop onto the ground, when you fall into the ground. And if you exit that state, then the run's basically over, right? So you want to, like, touch the floor as you're spinning. So you can keep spinning, and then I'm going around invisible walls. And then to be optimal, you don't need to do this in cheat categories, but it does save time. Oh my god, I choked. Y plus R jump here, fall, clip, ceiling swimming stuff while also avoiding the spitter, which is hard. Like, that shit is way harder than it looks, dude. It killed so many of my all-world tokens runs, dude. You have no fucking idea. There is a Fogger damage boost thing that would save like 15 seconds, but like that's literally never being done because it's so bad. And once again, it's different in early powers all extras because you don't light clip immediately as you need the extras. So you just spawn this one and then purposely die. You can't like even do a 1 frame pause for that. And you grab that extra on the way back and then it's the same. But then, obviously, you're grabbing the extras as well. It's not notably different in ETU and APL, really. Yeah, not really. I mean, you don't do quick Chris in ETU, I don't think. But I guess it's just a novelty to do it a bit early. So yeah, now the man kind of has it all. It's just that it has like one toxic ass trick, and combat can still be a bit cringe, and the beginning is slow. Like I still think it deserves to be S. So that just kind of leaves us with 3K. Oh wait, I wanted to show the fast now that we're men thing. I'll be right back. I have returned. This is just for hundo and all tokens, and even then it saves less time in all tokens, and I don't really understand. I mean, I kind of understand why. But yeah, look at the gameplay on the right. Ledge grab, go out of bounds. Clip back in, which is harder than it looks. Like, wait for the turret, because the turret's bullets are RNG. So wait for the right time, like, make a prediction on when you would touch them. Like... And then when you do touch them, you want to be facing away from them so that you can boost. And then hope that this isn't too far away. If it's like as far away as possible, you probably can't make it. And then afterwards, you would just like do some stuff. This would remove that mag strat, but yeah, then you like clip in. And then do bungee. Shit's like it saves like 20 fucking seconds or something. Yeah, 20 something. Saves less in all tokens for some reason, but yeah, I can't factor that into the thing, but I still wanted to show it. So, 3K at number 1. Why is it a number 1? Well, I mean, it just like the other two, it also has a slow beginning, though it's not like... Well, like, of all the slow beginnings, SCDA's is the best. But 3K's is better than Now That Men's, and it doesn't last as long. Because you do a build bash boost, I do an optimal one there, because it saves like a quarter of a second. You can do an optimal bash here, but it saves like 0.15 or some shit, and it's like hard and you might get hit by the spitter. Then you do right gang, like clearly, you know, again, it's less than SCDA, but more than Now That We're Men. It takes about as long to get going as SCDA. But then you get to the good stuff. Bam, bounceless, right? And then... Bam, steamed, yay. I'm running out of steam, no pun intended, if you couldn't tell. Running out of energy. This trick is not hard, but like it's always so satisfying when you're like in the intermediate level and you finally learn this trick and you're getting it. Like it feels good, dude. It feels fucking good. And I like the bounce of strat here where you die and do Sponge Bowl. Sponge Bowl itself isn't really that interesting. As a fast cycle, saves like 2 seconds. It is possible to go too fast. I like this. And then a fast thing here, if you bash the buttons fast enough. And then this isn't really a thing anymore, but you would do, like, bungee late because of floating block stuff. You wouldn't do that anymore because of the new bounces back up. But yeah, Bungie is like fine. Like, it may not seem like I have that much interesting stuff to say, and not only is it because I ran out of energy, but it is a more basic level than Now the Men and SCDA, but at the end of the day, right? Like, well, we're not done yet. I still need to go over more stuff. Let's see. It's more interesting in all extras than it is in Hundo. So here, you grab the extra, which then means that you do Bash Gang instead. Did I forget to grab the extra? Or do I just not do it yet? No, I swear to God I was supposed to get it. Yeah, no, I was supposed to... Okay, well, never mind what I said then. Fucking hell. But you would, like, spawn the extra in 3K1 and then grab it in 3K2. Which I like. And then here, like, this is how, like, you actually can go too fast. It sucks. So yeah, it's like, you may not see... It's like, oh, yeah, it's a pretty decent split, but, like, you know... When does it get juicy, bro? Well, let's take a look at the early powers one. Spoiled it a little bit, but you probably already knew, to be fair. But you do a lag clip here, which is harder than it looks. Up clip. Down clip. And yeah, wasn't that Poggers, bruv? And then you do this. That is pretty cool. I do like that. I think it's a little different in EPA. I mean, Oh yeah, because you can't do the lag clip. Yeah, so it's worse in EPAE. It's basically Frogfish if you had to get the extras. ETU's 3K is actually kind of, like, interesting. Like, you were already doing everything in one go anyway, but this actually, like, separates stuff a little bit. And it just, like, changes the level, like, a small amount in a way that's a little interesting. Where 3K might be at its best is arguably AWT. Though, again, that is debatable. This clip is the same. But then you do Bungie. And then you do this. I wish this were possible regularly, but you need guitar. That is harder than it looks. I did get a feel for it eventually, but yeah, you slide along. Like, if fucking, yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, that saves so much time. You can even two-frame it. And then there's obviously, like, bounceless alternatives. It's a little different in Frogfish. It's, like, the least interesting split of the top three, but I still feel like, for its consistency, it's arguably the best. Because here's the thing, right? Like, SCDA is, like, the... I don't know, like, SCDA is the most consistent, and it's interesting basically no matter what your skill level is, but it has guitar, and the beginning is a bit slow. Now That We're Men has an even slower beginning, and combat has its problems, but, like, the rest of it is great. Like, it clearly has the, like, best gameplay in it outside of those things. I think I might have said that for SCDA, but no, like, Now That We're Men does. Now That We're Men's issues are, like, yeah, like, it's a bit too, but, like, it doesn't have, like, a guitar weighing it down, and combat's clearly a lot more interesting. And 3K is just, like, it has the most variety of the three. It is the most consistently good. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I want to put Now That We're Men. Yeah, I might actually... I was thinking about this last night and how I would definitely put Now the Men a second and SCDA a third, 3K first. And I did just go on, like, a whole thing. But, like, thinking about it, like, Now the Men just is more interesting. Even in the cheat categories, it's a bit less interesting, but not that much. And yeah, the beginning, like, it takes even longer to get anywhere, but, like, when you get to the action is very much present. It has, like... Other than the beginning, it has, like, it has less downtime than 3K, but, it also doesn't have the guitar challenge like SCDA does, and the combat is, like, genuinely hard. The pacing of the level is pretty good. And it is, yeah, I don't know, it's just, like, consistently hard and cool. So SCDA is bogged down by one huge thing, 3K... is bogged down by a small lack of interesting things. And Now the Man is slightly bogged down by the slow beginning, but it really picks up after that. So, do I want to change anything? I mean, not really. I guess the only thing is, do I want to move Gesk and Neptune, but, like, I don't really... Nah, I don't think I need to. Yeah, I'm happy with this. If Now the Men just had a faster beginning, it'd be so uber peak. But it's already pretty fucking good, as is, as indicated by the S tier. So, what is the best overall split if you average, like, every single category out? Now the Men. It wouldn't have been before the combat stress, though, let me tell you. What is the second best? 3K. Third best? Neptune. Fourth best? SCDA. And fifth best, I would say either Gesk. Like, these three are a little interchangeable, but I feel like BBBH has too much doing nothing. Like, if Now the Men has the concentrated doing nothing at the beginning. BBBH has that, and then it has some afterwards, and then it also has a ring challenge, and its combat is not as interesting, and it's like, bruh. It's basically like, and its tricks aren't as hard. It's a worse Now the Men, unless you're... Except, you know, Fast Corkscrew is cool, but it is mostly a worse Now the Men. It even has a floating block skip-like trick. But it just has, like, less variety, less difficult, you know, blah, blah, blah. It does have BBBH backwards, which is great, but even that still has quite a bit of walking around. So yeah, it's basically just a worse Now the Men in, like, nearly every way, unfortunately. Plank just has a little too much, like, nothing going on. And Gesk has a bit of that, too. But, like, when the gameplay is good, it's, like, really good, whereas not all of Plank's gameplay is, like, it's good, but, like, Gesk's gameplay is really good. And then SCDA's peak, other than guitar, Neptune is just really consistently good, pretty much no matter what. 3K is just really solid no matter what. Even if it's not, like, spectacular in any category. And Now the Men is just fucking goat. It just, like, it has that same one problem as SCDA, except worse, but then it doesn't have ring, so it's just better overall. I think this is the time to stop the recording, because I'm repeating myself. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.